We introduces us to Takamichi, who is shown in his messy apartment, lazily watching TV. He hears news about a gang dispute involving the Tokyo Manji gang that led to the deaths of Naoto Tachibana and Hinata Tachibana. Takamichi recalls that Hinata was his only girlfriend. At his job in a DVD shop, Takamichi faces humiliation from his younger manager. Later, while at a train station, he is pushed onto the tracks. As he awaits the oncoming train, he only thinks of Hinata. Instead of dying, he finds himself back in time, during his middle school days, with his old friends. The date is July 4th, 2005. Takamichi and his friends plan to confront some second-year students from Shibuya Middle School. However, they are ambushed by third-year students led by Masataka Kiyomizu. The third years beat up Takamichi and his friends, forcing them to join the Tokyo Manji gang. This event marks the beginning of a hellish period for Takamichi and his friends. Takamichi then meets Hinata and is reminded of how precious she was to him. He also encounters a young boy being mugged and intervenes. The boy turns out to be Hinata's younger brother, Naoto. Takamichi warns Naoto about the future deaths of him and Hinata in 2017. Takamichi returning to 2017, where he meets an adult Naoto. Naoto hypothesizes that Takamichi's unique ability allows him to travel back in time by exactly 12 years. Over 2 days, Naoto provides Takamichi with information about the Tokyo Manji gang. The date is now July 6th, 2017. Naoto emphasizes the importance of preventing the meeting between the top 2 Toman members, Manjiro Sano and Teta Kisaki, as they are the reason for the gang's malevolent turn. Takamichi manages to travel back in time and finds himself in a brawl with another student on July 6, 2005. After being knocked out and waking up, he is reprimanded for his poor performance. Kiyomasa, a prominent figure, warns Takamichi against mentioning Sano's name. Despite the threats, Takamichi is determined to meet Sano and Kisaki to change the future. However, his life in this timeline is challenging, and he recalls the reasons he had for running away in the past. Hinata, Takamichi's former girlfriend, encounters him, and they share a heartfelt moment. She scolds him for getting into fights and expresses her wish to protect him. This interaction strengthens Takamichi's resolve to change the past and save Hinata. The next day, Takamichi's group discusses an upcoming fight in an underground ring. Takamichi intervenes before the fight starts, proposing a one-on-one fight with Kiyomasa. Takamichi faces off against Kiyomasa, understanding that he needs to free himself from being a slave to have any chance of meeting the top members of Toman. The fight is intense, with Kiyomasa delivering a series of brutal attacks on Takamichi. Despite the overwhelming odds, Takamichi's determination shines through. He refuses to give up, even when battered and bruised, murmuring, "Not yet," after each blow. The fight takes a turn when Kiyomasa decides to escalate things by attempting to use a bat against Takamichi. However, before things can get any worse, 2 significant figures from Toman interrupt the fight. The first is Ken Draken Ryuguji, the vice president of Toman, recognized by his dragon tattoo and tall stature. The second is Manjiro Mikey Sano, the president of Toman, who is surprisingly casual and is seen eating dorayaki. Mikey's presence commands respect, and even Kiyomasa's lackeys bow in his presence. Draken delivers a swift kick to Kiyomasa, putting him in his place. Mikey, on the other hand, approaches Takamichi, and after a brief interaction, declares that Takamichi will be his pal from now on. Mikey confronts Kiyomasa, asking if he was the one responsible for organizing the matches. Upon Kiyomasa's affirmation, Mikey delivers a powerful front kick to him, followed by a punch that knocks Kiyomasa unconscious. Mikey, along with Draken, then departs from the scene, commenting on the absurdity of the fighting rings. Draken advises the others not to tarnish Toman's reputation. After the crowd disperses, Yamagishi and Makoto commend Takamichi for his actions, noting that even Mikey seems to have taken a liking to him. As Takemichi processes the events, he recalls the fear of becoming Kiyomasa's slave. However, Makoto and Yamagishi lighten the mood by humorously reenacting the scene, causing Takemichi and his friends to laugh. Akun reveals to Takemichi that he had initially planned to arm himself and confront Kiyomasa, fearing they would become slaves. He thanks Takemichi for standing up to Kiyomasa and preventing that fate. The following day, as Takemichi heads to school, he meets Hinata, who suggests they go on a date before their cram school session. In the classroom, Takemichi reflects on Naoto's advice about preventing the top two Toman members from meeting. As he ponders his next steps, he is taken aback when Mikey and Draken enter the classroom. The duo leaves a trail of defeated third-year students in the hallway. Draken instructs the third years to lie down and, along with Mikey, walks over them. As they near the school's exit, Draken inquires about Takemichi's well-being, and Mikey invites Takemichi to hang out with him. Seeing this as an opportunity to get closer to Mikey and prevent him from meeting Teta Kizaki, Takemichi is about to respond when Hinata suddenly appears and slaps Mikey. Hinata slaps Mikey. As the situation escalates, Yamagishi informs Makoto that Takemichi has been kidnapped by Mikey, a revelation that Hinata overhears. Determined to confront the situation, Hinata finds Takemichi and boldly slaps Mikey. She then pulls Takemichi away, admonishing him not to let others push him around and asserting that she will protect him. Throughout this confrontation, Takemichi observes that Hinata's hands are trembling. The situation takes another turn when Draken intervenes, warning Hinata about the consequences of her actions. Takemichi, however, stands up to Draken, emphasizing his commitment to protect Hinata. Mikey, displaying a surprising side of his character, leans in to whisper to Takemichi that he would never hit a girl. This moment of tension is diffused when Mikey and Draken express their interest in Takemichi, with Mikey even inviting him to join their group. Mikey shares a personal story with Takemichi about his older brother who passed away. He mentions that Takemichi reminds him of his brother, hinting at the deeper reasons behind his interest in Takemichi. Mikey expressing his desire to usher in a new era of delinquents, and he invites Takemichi to join him in this endeavor. Inside a train where a group of students are chatting loudly and occupying the seats, Hinata, Hina, approaches them, asking them not to hog the seats, especially when there's an elderly lady standing. She then offers her seat to the old woman. Afterward, Hinata thanks Takemichi for accompanying her shopping and inquires about his performance in the finals. In a moment of distraction, Takemichi mentions that it feels like a trip down memory lane, leading to a playful exchange between the two. The scene transitions to Hinata's house, where Takemichi is visiting for the first time. As they study together, Hinata expresses her gratitude to Takemichi for helping her younger brother, Naoto, when he had a run-in with some delinquents. She reveals more about their family dynamics, mentioning their often absent father and Naoto's aspiration to become a policeman, much like their dad. While studying, they hear the sound of fireworks. Hinata suggests they go to the rooftop to watch. As they admire the fireworks, Takemichi contemplates his feelings and the reality that Hinata dies in the present timeline. He decides to hold her hand, but when he opens his eyes, he realizes he's holding Naoto's hand instead. This accidental touch acts as a trigger, sending Takemichi back to the present. In the present, an excited Naoto confirms with Takemichi about the time-traveling phenomenon and the handshake as the trigger. Takemichi sharing his recent experiences and the beautiful fireworks display they witnessed. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this recap, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and put likes under this video. Also, write in the comments what moment you liked the most. Manga title: Tokyo Revengers. Chapter 1 through 6. See you in the next video.